My name is Kelly, and I'm from the Management Study Guide's content team. In this course, we will talk about principles of psychology in detail. Ross Wilkins is a PhD student who is working on his thesis to gain doctorate in clinical psychology. The subject of Ross's thesis is the role and impact of traumatic incidents on the development of post-trauma phobias. On Ross's request, Mark goes through his thesis and is surprised to notice a basic thing lacking in the thesis. Mark tells Ross that although Ross's thesis has extensive research material on the impact and change in a person's behavior due to the trauma with respect to the mental state of mind, however, his thesis is greatly lacking on the impact of the trauma, which leads to development of phobias, from the physical point of view. Mark tells Ross that it's extremely important that he uses the various principles of psychology as a base for his research and incorporate it in his thesis. Let's review the course objectives. Explain the biological foundation of psychology. Explain the pros and cons of biopsychology. Explain how brain lateralization influences behavior. Explain how to overcome single hemisphere dominance. Describe the role of sensation in psychology. Describe ecology. Describe the role of perception in psychology. Explain the sensory process. Explain the sensory absolute threshold. Explain sensation and the sensory organs. Explain what is meant by perception. Explain stages of perception process. Explain what is selective attention. Explain what is perceptual expectancy. Explain types of illusions. Explain types of. The biological psychology attempts to analyze the relationship between physiological or biological processes on the behavior of psychological processes. This specialized branch of psychology studies how our brain or the neurotransmitters and other biological parameters influence our psychology and behavior, feelings, as well as thoughts. Brain lateralization and psychology. Brain lateralization means that the two halves of the brain, known as right and left hemispheres, function differently but yet interdependently. If we study the brain anatomy, we will understand that the brain is divided into two hemispheres, which are connected by the corpus callosum. Here's a tip. Just noticeable difference is the minimum possible change in the sensory stimulus required by a person to recognize that change has taken place. It's the smallest recognizable difference between the start and the secondary level of the stimulus and is also known as the differential threshold. The five senses: seeing, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. Let us understand the role played by different sense organs in the process of sensation. Sight. Stimuli. John gets extremely scared when he sees a scarecrow. Even the picture of a scarecrow scares him a lot. Response. A real scarecrow or even a picture of a scarecrow is enough to scare the living daylight out of John. John starts to tremble and shiver and freezes when he sees a scarecrow, but is not aware of why this happens. Illusions take place through any of our senses. The following are the different types of illusions: optical, auditory, tactile, smell, and taste illusions. Let's look at each one of them in detail. This is just a demo of the complete course. With every course, you get to view the course